Anyway, we decided that each of the climbing coaches will just do one post recognizing everyone in the group or in your climbing coach workout buddy system who achieved all strands of the cow. Because I know we have 21 that we're working one-to-ones with, and out of the 21, there were 4 that got every strand of it, but they still will finish it. We're just trying to recognize and acknowledge those who got to that particular level of the mountain climbing within the week. And we want to keep encouraging you guys to do that, because if you get too far behind, then it feels like it's kind of hard to go do, don't you think? When you're going to climb a mountain with other people and you get there and some are already a quarter of the way up, it's this personal belief that we honestly can't help, but we compare ourselves. We talked about that last time, and then we get a little bit stifled, don't we? Because it does take away the incentive a little bit. So for that reason, we were entertaining the idea that we won't add any more climbers to the gym after March 20th, because by that time they're going to be almost 3 weeks, which they could catch up, but those of you doing one-to-one calls, wow, that's a lot of extra catching up, and then we could just figure out a way to get them climbing on the next 9 weeks, 8 weeks, or what have you. So for last week, All on Passion, you guys spewed it on the Climbing Gym page, which was so lovely. It was great to see your list of 30. So now we want you to start acting on those lists of 30, whether it be sponsoring or what our awesome push group climbing coaches are going to share with you today. So let's hear from our weekly climbing coaches. We have Carla, Wendy, Ashton, and Taylor. So take it away, Carla. Let's hear what your thoughts are on this week's topic. What is it, and what do you guys want to let us know about it from your own takeaways?
Okay, so I'm Carla Oswinch. I'm a director with Team Impact. So yay, Team Impact! So I wanted to go over how to build PRV when you don't know anybody, because you want to go out of your friends and family. And I also want to go over how to make it fun. So when I started, it was a very unique situation, because I was nowhere near my hometown. I was completely across country. I knew no one. So I had to build it knowing no one, and I was able to make it to lead consultant in my first month when I really didn't know anyone around. So how did I do that? Well, I tend to challenge myself and make things fun all the time. And I know there's a difference between productive work and busy work. And I know I tend to want to go towards busy work because it's easier. But I wanted to make it where my productive work, where I'd actually be getting sales and recruits and all that, was fun. So I made challenges for myself. So I literally would go in to a restaurant and take my mini testers and just throw them all over the table. And even before I had my mini testers, I would take a few of the little full-size testers and just put them across the table in a restaurant. And I'd start sniffing them, and waitresses would come up to me and go, "Oh, do you have lip gloss, or what is that?" And I would give them a catalog. And when I gave them a catalog, and I'm going to show you here, I gave them a catalog, but I also printed out my story, and I had a little scent sample. So I would make sure I give that to them, and I would get their information, and boy, did I get sales. It's crazy, but this little scent sample right here is very powerful. So then I would just challenge myself to go to different places and give out my information. And I always tried to one-up myself, and I always wanted to do better PRVs the next month and the next month. So it became a challenge for me to do it. And I would reward myself in little ways. Just something stupid. I'd go and make sure, okay, if I do more this week, then I will get a pair of shoes or something silly like that. So it was always just a challenge, and I'd get the rewards for doing it, and I would make sure that I motivated myself and made it fun. And the more people I was around, the more fun it would get. So I just would do things like that. And when I would travel cross country, I would see how many new places I could put things out. So if I would be going through a toll booth, I would make sure that I talked to the toll person, and I wouldn't just go through those easy passes. I'd go through where the person was, and I'd make sure I paid them, and then I would give them information, and if they seemed like they were interested, I'd get their information. And it was really easy to do when it was really late at night and they were super bored and ready to fall asleep. Then I would be able to have this whole conversation before the next car came. So that was a little bit of fun. Just little things like that. I challenged myself. I went out. I went a little beyond. And whenever somebody would tell me to do something, I'd make sure when it was scary, like Cindy Ensley is my Superstar director, and she challenged us to give out our cards to at least 10 people in a day. So we would make it super fun, and we would take pictures with the people, and we'd do videos with the people, and we just had a blast doing it. And it's crazy how I still have those people from way back when I started in my client list, because we did start out with an energy of fun and camaraderie, and we wanted to make it all enjoyable, so it didn't seem like a job to me. So they were like, oh, this is fun, I can do this. And some of those people even joined in my team. So I'm just going to show you, this has nothing to do with PRVs, but I got a rack card that talks about joining the business, because anytime you talk to somebody about buying something, you should always talk about the business, especially with the $49. So I have a little thing with all kinds of fun pictures, and I made sure that it was fun pictures so that people would be like, oh, okay, you actually do that at your job. And I wanted them to feel like, hey, I want to have fun. I don't have fun at my current job, because when I started, I hated my job, and I absolutely love Scentsy, and I made sure I did things that I love. Like, I love events, so I made sure I stayed in that area where I know other people love fundraisers. So stay where you love and where you have fun, and you're going to go far in this business. So, and I'll put a picture of this so you can see it on the page later on, so you know what I have with that rack card there. And that's
Carla, I saw a question pop up, sorry, which was cool. Did you guys see the question pop up? Because I saw it pop up on the screen, but I didn't see it in the chat. But they would like to know, how do you go about getting the contact information? I think it was right after you talked about giving your samples.
Well, it's changed over time. Like, at first I started out with like having them write on an order form or on a little one of those little drawing slips. Now I just take a Post-it and I just stick it on the front of my catalogs, and whenever I give it to somebody, I have them fill that out, and then I have their information, and then I put it in a little binder so that I can follow up with them. But when I do events, I still use the order forms, and I have them fill out the top information from those order forms, and then I rip off the backside for me, and I keep that one side that I have all their information. And when they leave, I write down all kinds of information that I remember about them, because that is important, because I like to send things out, thank you cards or gifts or whatever, and whatever I remember about them, like let's say their kid's about ready to be in a baseball game or something, then I want to make sure that I make sure that their kid was in a baseball competition, and then I write to them, hey, how did they do on their competition? And they're like, wow, she actually remembered me, she knows, and she cares enough to know what that is with me. And that brings up another good fun thing. Now, I don't have any kids, but if I did, I would definitely be doing this. I saw something about practice parties, whereas if you go to a baseball practice or basketball practice, somebody set up just a little bit of Scentsy stuff at the side and had their own little party, because you get bored watching your kids practice all the time. So I thought that was something really fun to do too. So something fun to bring the parents together, and you don't have to watch the boring practice. So make it fun.
Okay, you can tell that, I mean, I don't have kids either, but it's funny that you said the practice was boring. I'm not sure why you would think that if you don't have children, but we've been there. Thank you, Carla. And then you guys will tie all of this into our weekly topic of work as we go and more towards the end too to summarize it, and then they'll give us the cows. But now we're going to Wendy in Alabama, correct?
Hey, Wendy.
Just a minute, Wendy. I'm getting to you. Okay, you're on.
Yay! Hey y'all, I'm Wendy. I am a director here in Vinemont, Alabama, which is a little bit north of Coleman County, and it's about halfway between Birmingham and Huntsville. Very small area. So happy to be on tonight. Our topic being work, and something was mentioned earlier in the week about what do we do if we can't sell to our family and friends? How do we increase our PRV when we run out of family and friends to sell to? When you first start your business, you're going to have all kinds of friends and family that want to help you out, but what about after? You kind of get a rut where you don't have a lot of people, so how are you going to increase your PRV and still kind of have fun? You still have to kind of get uncomfortable. You have to step out of your comfort zone and try to get more friends in, more people interested. And I came across an article, and I posted it just a few minutes ago, and I read it back, I want to say during the summertime, but don't quote me on that. And it's 125 ways to meet new people and grow a massive personal network. And this is actually from some superstar directors. Megan Clements, I think is her name. And she's got some really great tips and tools in here that I thought were great. Some of them I'm going to talk about because I already do them. But you've got to make sure that, A, you're branding yourself right. Because if you brand yourself right and you're just out and about, people are going to know, hey, she's Scentsy. I want some Scentsy. By now, across America, people know what Scentsy is. They want Scentsy. And all too often I hear, I don't know anybody that sells it. And that's a shame because, we're all here. We're all trying to work our businesses. So if you're, branding yourself right and you're putting yourself out there, you're going to run into new people. You can, this talks about joining groups. Carla was mentioning kids that practice games and stuff like that. There's a whole group of people that you may not normally be friends and family with, or even friends with on a day-to-day basis, but you can build a relationship with them just from going to practices or entering in mom groups on social media. It's remarkable the different groups that are out there for social media for marketing. I'm in several groups that are not Scentsy, but they're like scrapbooking and just arts and crafts stuff kind of going on, in a couple support groups because I have, a condition with my stomach. So there's other people out there that we kind of had groups. And these are people that, I'm not going in there, I'm not posting all about Scentsy. They just, we get to strike up a conversation. Eventually it's going to come back to, oh, what do you do for a living? How are you how are you doing this? And there's an opportunity to talk Scentsy. If you're at Walmart and you're walking around and somebody sees Scentsy and they come up and they start talking to you, there's a way, that you've got to build a relationship. Today was kind of a busy day. So, like most moms, I'm running to kids' appointments. I'm running to practices, everything for my kid. And, granted, he's 15, so I don't get to do this a whole lot, and it's about to go away. But I challenged myself and I'm trying to get myself to step out of my comfort zone even more. So I have a huge thing. I love shoes. Carla was talking about rewarding herself with shoes. I do that. I'm big on that. I wore a pair of funky shoes today just because it's nice out and you get to wear open-toe shoes now that it's getting in the 80s. So everybody that said, hey, I like your shoes, I started talking to them about their shoes. We talked shoes for a minute. And sure enough, that conversation always turns back to, what do you do for a living? Or if they say, where did you get those shoes? Oh, this was my prize for, selling or making X amount of dollars or doing this with my business. And then you can talk about your business. You can wrap it into that whole conversation. And, bam, you've got a new customer right there. Make sure that you have catalogs on you so that you can share by all means. We talked about, or Carla talked great about productive work and busy work. The busy work is something I think that we all kind of fall in a rut and we all kind of fall back into doing that just because it is easier. And I got thinking today that our busy work, if we do 5 hours each night on busy work, making samples, labeling catalogs, sending out little notes to our team. These are great things that we need to do as leaders but how is that income producing right now? How is that going to help your next paycheck? It really, if you just do busy work and you don't step out of your comfort zone, it's not going to help you any. What good is the samples if you're not going to put them with a catalog and hand them out and meet people? It is important when you meet people to try to get their contact information. That's something that I kind of really feel like I fail at, but I made a point today to make sure that I had my notebook with me, and after I talked to them, I wrote their information down. If I knew, I know one girl works at UAB Dentist Clinic, and her name is Tanisha, and I wrote all of her information down. I'm going to contact her next week to see, hey, how'd you like that catalog and that scent sample? What'd you think of the hand cream? So following up, these are income-producing busy work that we can do, right, or just income-producing work that we can do to help our bottom line. And then the busy work, you just got to tie it all in and work smarter, not harder. Let's see. So basically, just sit down, grab your notebook, write different ways that you can challenge yourself, but keep it fun. Today, my goal was to hit 10 people. I hit 10 people. What's my reward? A glass of wine. It doesn't have to be anything lavish. It can be something small. Just take time for yourself and make sure that you're opening those doors and building those relationships and getting yourself out there. So that's pretty much all that I really have today.
Okay, so be sure if you guys have questions that you can post them in the chat. Thanks, Wendy. So the takeaway, when you say you hit 10 people, that doesn't mean literally. Your goal was to go look up to meet 10 people, get their contact, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Don't hit them. That's not a good way to get business.
Okay, so I don't have me on. I can hear. It sounds like a puppy, doesn't it? Well, I just did that just now. Wow, you got good feedback, Ashton, but that's okay. We're going to make this work. But before we flip it over to Ashton, it's kind of fun to see your guys' comments on the climbing gym or on the chat group. So there's a couple of things that I'm thinking of as we go. And so sorry, gosh, I hope I don't take anything away from what you're going to add, Ashton. But as I'm listening to you guys, one thing that I think I'm going to say, I got it from Mary Christensen. I can't tell you the last time I handed out a catalog or a sample or anything without getting contact information, because I look at it as a gift, and it's an investment for me, but I want to make it about them. And so kind of like what you were saying, and Carla's alluded to this too, and I know, Wendy, you were saying how you ask them for their information. I want to know their opinion. And so you can get there, like Chloe just texted, or says that she texts them right then, gets them on, looks them up on Facebook. And I'm really big in my calendar book or keeping sticky notes in my purse, because I love sticky notes and they're just so simple and everywhere. That's what I would say to them is, oh my gosh, we have this great new hand cream. Would you like to try it? Because I would love to know what you think about it. And then what's your phone number? And I'll just call you in the next couple of days just to get your thoughts. I mean, did you like the smell? Did you like the texture? And all of that. Give them a catalog. Oh my gosh, it's our new catalog. Hey, you know what? Would that be all right if I just call you in the next day or two just to see what jumped out at you? Because since he's always looking to make it the best it can be, so if there's something you thought would make it more user-friendly, gosh, I'd want to know. And of course, when I call them back, I don't feel bad calling them back. I already told them I was calling them. If they don't want me to call them, they're not going to tell me okay. They'll tell me not to call them, and I call them. You may not have that comfort, but to me, this is a people business. So the more you literally talk to people, then the more you can make that connection. Even eye to eye, obviously, is more powerful. But that's one way to look at when you're giving out something of your business. It's a value, but you value their opinion on what they think of what you're representing as your own, as being the own CEO of your company. And the second thing I'm noticing as we're doing this is two of you could, for fun, add your photo on in case you start doing webinars galore, because you can see how there's a picture of us, and then there's a picture of Carla, and eventually it's a great, whether you are trying to sponsor somebody or sell them, doesn't matter. This is about connecting with your team too. So consider that, and I didn't even think of it till just now where I was looking. Thank goodness I have your guys' picture that I can see on the screen. Can you guys see our, oh,
That's what they
you guys don't get to see, oh, never mind. Okay, so Ken just said they don't get to see what we see as the administrator of the page. Well, that was poor, well, I don't know how we got our picture up there, but Carla, you have yours too, and then there's a little circle for Ashton and a little Cincy logo for Wendy. I don't know. Anyway, Ashton, what can you tell us about this week's topic, about our PRV and working it? How do you go about making the PRV all about me, you?
Okay. Do I still have lots of background noise? I don't know why I'm in a car all by myself in a parking lot. But anyways, I'm sorry. I'll try to hurry. And if you need me to just stop, I can just stop if it's annoying. But these are all just completely things that I do. I don't do anything fancy, in my opinion, and I have told you guys 1,000 times as we're presenting or preparing to present for this week that I think I've stretched more this week than I have in the last year and a half in my business. So I will just share the things I do, and obviously it's working fairly well for me. So, but I think the biggest thing is just learning and constantly stretching, because if you're not willing to learn new ideas, then you will settle. You'll get kind of stuck in your busy work ways or just in your comfort zone. And so definitely learning constantly, which this is definitely my learning experience for this year. I don't know that I've learned more in a week than I have in this past week. So I have just a few things that I do. My favorite thing, which is usually one of the biggest points that I use whenever I'm recruiting, is people always say, well, I don't know enough people to sell to. I don't have that many friends. I don't have that many family members that are supportive, blah, blah, blah. We've all heard it. So what I always say, and what I really do truly do, is for all the parties that I've ever had, I've always contacted all the people that attend those parties. So that completely broadens everything that you do, because you may only have 4 friends, but those 4 friends have at least 4 friends, and those 4 friends have 4 friends. So if you're booking parties off of parties, which I highly suggest, then you are tripling your friends list. I also recently have tried to add them all to my Facebook, which this just has to be comfortable, kind of what your preference is and how comfortable you are. But I like to connect with those people through my Facebook. So I have tried to start posting more personal things to my Facebook and adding all of those party guests so that they can start to know who I am. Because originally they may not be comfortable enough to book a party with you, but if they find something that they connect with you about, then they may book a party, and obviously parties turn into PRV. Another thing that I do is I share a ton of Cincy on my Facebook. Yes, I do try and make a lot of things very personal, but especially with this new catalog, it's going to be hard to stop me from sharing every single new item on my Facebook page. You're silly if you don't, in my opinion. I know a lot of people have these rules about 80-10 or 80-20, whatever, 90-10. And so, I mean, I think it's everybody's opinion about what you should do. I think that your page should not turn into a constant sales page, but your Facebook is a huge representation of who you are, whether you want it to be or not. So you might as well share things that you love. If you really love Pantene Pro V shampoo, then you would probably take a picture of it and post it 4 times a week, just like I do with Cincy. So just know that your Facebook is a huge tool. And this month you'd be crazy not to share all the new stuff because everything's amazing. Another thing that I do through Facebook is I do the pictures where you pick a number type thing. A lot of people are not going to like random pictures of warmers. But for some reason, people will choose a number in a heartbeat. So whenever they do that, I will follow up with them and say, hey, thanks for picking my number. If you order by the end of the month a $30 or $40 order, then I'll give you a free scent circle or whatever the case may be. That is a huge PRV booster for me, especially at the end of the month whenever I'm trying to reach a certain goal, when I'm trying to hit that $2,000 number to make more money. So that has been a really good thing for me, because your customers that you've already built love a deal. And then the people that have attended parties in the past that you have added, that's a good way to kind of connect with them too, because they may not be comfortable enough to comment on your coffee date picture with you and your best friend because they don't know your best friend, but they'll pick a number. So just finding little things. I know a lot of people have posted like the coffee picture, which coffee are you? All of those little all of those little pictures that draw attention to your page that you can get people to kind of get comfortable enough to comment, like, and connect with them on your page. I think it was Chloe who had a special, or she kind of challenged us to have a whole period of time where we didn't like anything, that we always commented, and that was super hard because immediately I liked that post. But
where you didn't click like.
Right, you didn't click like on the post for anything on Facebook that you commented, and I didn't realize how big of an impact that makes. But 45 people may like a picture, but only 10 are going to comment. And if you're one of those 10 people that comment, that do connect with your customers and do show them that you are paying attention to things that are going on with their life, that you did watch that piano recital that blew you away, they post a little video, then they care. That does mean a lot to them. And if you're going to be in this business to make lots of money and make lots of sales, then you're going to have to build relationships with people, because otherwise they're just going to go buy a $3 bar at Walmart. Let's see, what else do I do? Another huge thing with parties is making sure that you follow up with all of those people in kind of a uniform fashion, and don't get all tied into pieces whenever people say they're not ready to reorder. A lot of people have all these systems about following up with people, and I'm sure they're great, but I haven't found one yet that I can follow very well. So what I do is I simply just keep all of my order forms, and then I will put them into folders by month. And so this month is March, so it doesn't matter what month I pull out. I'm just going to pull out a random month, and then I will literally contact all of those people, hopefully within a week, and just say, hey, I noticed that you bought this. I wanted to let you know it's going away. Or, hey, I noticed that you bought a warmer, and I just wanted to make sure that that bulb is still working, or whatever the case may be. But if you connect with what they bought, then a lot of times they will really answer back instead of just saying, hey, I just wanted to see if you wanted to buy more. So that's another thing that I do as well. I feel like I'm rambling, but I'm trying to get everything in. The other huge thing is booking parties in advance. I'm trying to cover the things that Taylor posted too, because her sister's having a baby, hopefully, while I'm in the car. But booking parties in advance. So trying to follow up with people that have either hosted before. So like all of my people that hosted last March, I'm trying to get up with them either last month or this month to see if they want to host again in March or April. Because if it worked last year for them, it'll probably work again this year. And then just trying to keep your parties lined up in advance. Just keep asking, honestly, is my very simple idea for you guys. Honestly, I tell my team members all the time, I can't tell you how many people it's going to take you to ask before you get your goal of 5 parties, but who cares? Just keep asking until you have 5. Or 20 or whatever it is you want to do. So I think I covered most of the things that Taylor and I covered. For work, that was a huge topic for this week. I will just say that sometimes you just have to put your big girl panties on and do it. And if you're going to whine, you're probably not going to get it done. So this week, I think a lot of us are probably going to post lots of tips and ideas on things that we shared with you. And I have tons of quotes that I found along the way that I cannot wait to share with you guys. They're all very motivational, but some of them are very put your big girl panties on and do it too. So I hope you all enjoyed everything. And I didn't even say where I'm from, but I'm from North Carolina. And I was excited to hear your Alabama accent, Carla. I meant Wendy.
So a question, Ashton, thank you. I wanted to know if you would post your games or post your personal comments, etc., on your own Facebook page, or is it your Cincy business page, or is it your home page? Your personal page.
My team members ask me that all the time, and I do have a business page. I kind of use that as my page to unashamedly smash Cincy all over Facebook. But I think it's very important to do it on both, just maybe less often on your personal page.
Oh, good. Well, you know what? I can't wait to see all the quotes that you're going to be posting this week. And another comment on here was Chloe said you got the like thing from somebody else, and what the great thing about it is, and that's what's so lovely about Facebook, is when you see it out there and it fits your style and it fits your comfort, and just like Ashton was saying, people have follow-up methods that she doesn't care for, but we may. That's the beauty of constantly being on other groups or with other organizations or following through or following up with other people, so you can get those ideas. But no, Ashton wouldn't have known it if Chloe didn't share it. And I love how Lori said that she has a 31 friend, and they do a party, at least 2 parties a year together, so they share each other's customers. And one thing that we do for PRV, I look at Ken as if he doesn't do parties. Don't be too impressed. But I always ask my host, I book it right then for new catalogs. So if we're doing a party in March, then I'll book her again for September. If I do one in April, I'll book her again for October. So I have a circulation of hosts. If they're not going to join and we're not able to roll them over into gifting them the party, then they'll do multiple ones. So do you guys see how all of this together is about working your business? So hopefully you've seen the TED Talk. We'll post it again, but the TED Talk is all about work your business to your ability. When you're working it in our business, you are somehow, some way generating PRV. The only way to generate PRV is to network. Just like, I don't know who posted it, but it popped up. It was cool. Networking is essential. Being around people is essential. And to piggyback off of what Ashton said, put your big girl panties or big boy panties on. If you're not going to make it happen, then you will make excuses. And you cannot make money and make excuses at the same time. So this week, when we talk about PRV is all up to me, find your way of getting PRV, because I'm telling you right now, when you get out there to get PRV, you're networking. Guess what accidentally happens? Oh, people want to join your team because you're real and you're authentic. So when we started, our goal was $2,000 a month, 3 new team members every month. Did we hit it every month? No. But the great thing about it was because we were always just channeled on getting that 2,000 PRV, so you get a 30% commission that month. If we found ourselves around people a lot more, and so it's a numbers game. So when we talk about work, watch that TED Talk, because I love how he talked. This is what the TED Talk Richard guy said. Nothing comes easy. I mean, you guys, if this were easy, everyone would be doing it, right? And I said last week, we basically make our money from no's. So get used to them. We already know what to say and what to do when people say yes, because that's fun. Why is it that we beat the heck out of ourselves when we get a no? Why don't we start practicing that verbiage and language in our head, our responses, our emotion? Why don't we practice that? Well, I mean, we don't practice yeses, so why is a no so hard and so personal? So when we're getting good at PRV, that's what he says. It doesn't come easy. Hard work is supposed to be fun. If you love what you do, then you do what you love, right?
And you have passion.
And then my boyfriend said, oh yeah, and you have passion, because that's contagious, okay? Find your most favorite way to integrate Scentsy. So here's one thing that we discovered probably 4 or 5 years into our business, that most people don't have any kind of plan. It's kind of scary when we say, let's put together an annual business plan. Woo, woo. I don't know about you, but I'm sure everyone in your team's busting down your door to figure that out. No, not happening. But we're talking about stretching. We really, really want to put a plan on paper on what your whole year looks like. That's called an annual plan. So here's an example. Don't get scared, because yes, we're talking about a cow. So our cow this week is to put together an annual plan of how you're going to make PRV. It does not mean exactly word for word, script for script, hour by hour. No. What are the things we do to generate PRV in January? Well, what are all the things that Scentsy offers us? What are the things that you have going on in your world, at your work, or at your church, or in your environment? What happens in February, and March, and April, blah, 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 and then we'll break it down into parties. And all of us, whether you've done one or not, it was fun talking this week with the push group, is some people just use the annual incentive. I'm sorry, the annual sales plan. That's still a plan. Well, now let's break it down by month. Some people use sticky notes, and they have that yippee-ki-yay, but we want it to be all on, if you can, all on one visual piece of paper or two. Ours is actually on 2 because we elaborate on it. Oh, I can tell he has something to say. Annual, are you going to say something about our annual sales plan, honey?
If you want me to.
Oh, I want him to. Don't you want him to? Really bad, honey.
Okay, couple of things. One of the points that Danette made is really, really powerful. When she talked about when she has a party, let's say she has a party in March with the new catalog. If that person doesn't join our team, then at a minimum, what she'll do is she'll reschedule them for when the new catalog comes out in the fall. So when your fall parties show up, you should already have those booked from the things that you were doing in the spring, right?
That's in my annual business plan, by the way.
Right. So in your plan, you might have, well, I want to do 4 parties, let's say, in March, because it's the new catalog. Nobody has the new product, so those are easy months to get booked for parties. And then maybe 1 or 2 of those hosts actually join the team, and you roll the party to them. And then the other 3 would be rebooked and scheduled for a party, tentatively, on your calendar for the fall when the new catalog comes out. So you're constantly rolling your hosts, your party hosts, to make it that much less work for you when it comes around. So come the next spring, you already have your fall hosts are already rolled into your spring hosts, and so you just keep building up more and more of those party hosts as you go. And you can do the same thing with basket parties. You can do the same thing with fundraisers. All of that can be rolled.
It's how you come about generating your PRV, because remember we said it's work, but we want to make it fun. Well, we can't tell you there's only one way to get your PRV. I am a huge advocate of home parties. That's my niche. I hated them at first. I never wanted to do them. I just did basket parties. But I love the socialness and that personal connecting of a home party, because you get out to so many people, so many ways, and there's not too many direct selling companies that are party plan. So I like to capitalize on that personally. So my whole business plan is around 90% of it is home parties. The rest of it is basket parties. I don't do Facebook parties. Well, and I'm not going to say I won't. I like to try new things. It's just Facebook's not my comfort yet, but I'm trying to stretch and keep my stretchy pants on. But an example just to elaborate. So you know March is a new catalog. Well, you can do the same thing in September. It's a new catalog. Well, guess what? February is 10% off. What other month is 10% off? So I want to channel that. How am I going to get PRV when there's 10% off in August and February? Guess what happens in May, June, and July? Summer incentive. Well, Cincy always does something fat then. I want to run this summer incentive. So I break down how many parties do I need to do. Do I know the summer incentive point system? Nope, doesn't matter, because my business plan is all about what I get to control, and I know I can control how many parties I do. The more I work, the more I earn. It's so bizarre how that happens.
Well, and let's say you're doing online parties or you like doing basket parties. Any of those, when you get that party done and wrapped up, the last thing you should be doing is either getting them on and joining your team, or if that's not a fit for them, or doesn't seem like the right fit, then it should be, hey, you know, about every 2 months, let's say you do a basket party with somebody, you know, about every 2 months, those people who just ordered from you are going to be ready for some more scents, so let's go ahead and get you scheduled for a basket party. Let's say we're doing it in March, April, let's go ahead and get you scheduled to redo that basket party with those people in May, because they're going to be ready for their reorders at that point, and that way you can get the free and the half price stuff. So think about constantly building this evolutionary flow of business that's coming your way all the time without you having to go out and just getting new people scrambling at the last minute. Yeah. Then that's how you're going to earn the annual incentive. That's how you're going to earn the summer incentive, is because you already have a base of business already on your calendar, and now you're just adding to it in a way that's going to get you to whatever your goals are for any period of time. So here's one of the things I think would be useful to do for everybody in the climbing gym, is let's do a thread that talks about what are Cincy's incentives that we can build upon that they typically do every month of the year. Like Danette talked about, there's always something that we can be pushing and promoting in different ways, whether it's the, you know, like this month's the 40
month, always warmer incentive.
Warmer incentive is every month, right? Yeah. You know, 6-pack challenges. You can do things you can do every month. But I'm thinking, what are the Cincy things that they always do? Yeah, like bring back my bar. You know, what are the months that those fall? The double hosting benefits, the new catalog, the 10% off. When do those fall?
Harvest
in what
specials.
Months? And then you can
we could go on.
And then you can build those into your calendar so that you can see how your Cincy sales calendar, which then obviously getting out selling product puts us in a position to sponsor and recruit people too, can be built out over the course of a year or so, and that just gives us a lot of momentum because we know what we're looking forward to coming into the next month.
And another beautiful thing about an annual sales plan is it really does allow you to be more authentic, because you're being proactive, not reactive. Because if you're being reactive, it's the end of the month and you need your PRV because you didn't hit this goal or you needed that to hit this incentive, and all of a sudden we can't help it. We become so desperate that it's no longer about them, it's about us. So that helps. And just so you know, we're just starting out with the annual sales plan because there's no doubt we cannot deny sponsoring. But if we were to say just make your entire business plan, then we'd all just say, next. So we're starting just with our annual sales plan. Some of us will show our annual sales plan just to give you an idea, because we want to take little nuggets from everybody's, and it doesn't hurt anyone's feelings if you don't love it, but you don't have to share you don't like it. Just take the nuggets that you like. And I have to commend all you guys. It's been so awesome to see your positive posts on the climbing gym. We are a step above just a team page. I mean, we are all here to support each other. So we got to keep in mind, when you're making this business plan, it's got to be flexible. Don't think just because you're writing it out for a year that you have to hold true, because you know what? Life happens. It's bizarre, but it does. So make it a flexible plan, and like we do, we have a family meeting every month, and we have for probably 8 years out of our 10, and that includes our dogs, Zippity and Doodah and us. We go upstairs, we have a giant sticky pad, and we look at, okay, how did last month go? What was our yearly plan? Blah, blah, blah. That's how we do it, but I love that because we're the only ones that can motivate and challenge ourselves. So with that, your cow is to come up with an annual business plan by the end of next week, and we're going to do some things to help you. We're going to also, I want to remind you, when you post your daily Ascent Academy challenge, please don't forget to tell us what level you are, because it may be obvious to you, but I only know my level. And what was fun is to see, I'd be interested to see, does every single level have Sundays off? Because I got a Ascent challenge on a Sunday that didn't say take the day off. But it'd be interesting. I wouldn't have known that until all of you were posting what your exact level was, okay? That went in my mouth. So we're going to do a booking blitz this week. How fun will that be? So our push group was going to come up with a set date, and then Ken and I were talking. Well, he doesn't know this. I was thinking, but I didn't say it out loud. It says Internet Explorer stopped working. Is that okay?
Probably not.
Can you guys still hear me?
Is she still on there?
I am, but it's delayed. So can you guys still hear me? You could just type.
I think they probably left and are going to try and come back, like reload. I think that's what they're trying to do now.
Oh, it's okay. I'm going to talk fast, so you guys are going to have to listen fast, okay? Because I don't know where. Did you guys hear me talk about saying your level in Ascent Academy? And then did you hear me talk about the booking blitz and how we're going to do a vote? Oh, right. Okay. So we are going to do a group vote in the climbing gym on which day this week we all will do a climbing gym booking blitz. And you know what? Don't feel bad if the day that the day that had the majority votes wasn't voted on and you can't make it. That's okay. We just encourage you in the next week to 10 days to do a booking blitz within your team or organization, or grab a buddy or 2 or 10 and do a booking blitz. But we're going to do a poll just tomorrow. Please vote, because your vote matters. And if the majority number picks a day this week, then we're going to give, I know I have a bunch of ideas for booking blitz that we've done in the past as far as language and how to get those lists together ahead of time and etc. But it's a new catalog. PRV is up to me. We want to get our teams fired up. We want you to be fired up to share, share, share. And remember, you're a blessing, not a bother. You said yes one time or another. So our booking blitz is all about how to get parties booked. So make sure tomorrow you vote, because we're going to announce it by the end of the day tomorrow on when our all climbing gym booking blitz, because we love our little push group this week thought it would be more fun to do it as a whole workout buddy system. And then if you're not able to make it, then try your guts out to get one done in the next week to 10 days, because that plays into our annual incentive, because we have Booking Blitz on our annual incentive plan, just so you know. So it's all about PRV. You got to work your business, but make sure it's fun, and we're going to make sure all of us are having fun during the week. So please post your questions. If you have anyone in your team that didn't get on live tonight, or this part got messed up, then make sure you catch them up. And remember, March 20th is the last day that any climbers will be added to this first 8 weeks of membership. Okay, thanks for your patience, you guys. Keep on climbing. The peak is like that far away, and we'll see you at the gym. Oh, good. Bye-bye. You pop up now. Wait, say something, Ashton. I want you to pop up.
I was muted.
Oh, you popped.
Yeah, I'm here. And if you guys don't mind, pray for Taylor's sister, because she is in an emergency C-section right now. So we would totally appreciate all your prayers.
Hey, prayers your way. Thanks, everybody.